A cocktail ring can easily be made by you and worn to different occasions. So we have this kit at Crafties that shows you how to make your very own cocktail ring using a mesh ring, finding, and some simple beads. Now, watch as we show you how simple it is to actually get this done. Usually, the component comes this way. You have two separate parts. And please bear in mind that to couple this together, you are going to need your fine chain nose plier. Crafty stocks a range of pliers, and we have the finest ones that can last you for very many years. That's professional pliers for that matter. And now to start, some people want to use wire for this, but we will recommend that you just stick to monofilament yarn. The reason is very simple. When we do it with wire, it looks nice, it stands straight, but over time the wire bends this way and that way. And you know what happens when wire bends again and again? One day it just snaps off. And so while it may be nicer to start with wire, you are better off with your monofilament yarn. And it is better to use one that is not too thin so that the ring is not fluffy. So if you are looking at about 0.4, 0.45, as long as it can enter the hole a second time or enter the bead a second time, then you'll be fine. Now to start, we prefer to start from the outermost edge to define how we want our ring to be. Mind you, there are many possibilities even with this first layer. You could decide to use many more beads to make your ring stand out and bigger, or you could even decide to use something just two, that is one big one and another small one on top. So in this case, we'll be using the 8mm bead and the seed bead. So the first thing is to secure your monofilament yarn. So you just secure it, go in and out of any of the holes around, and make sure that it is firm. You could knot it if you wanted, because at the end of the day, the back is going to be concealed. So you just secure it. And when you are done, you come out from one of the holes on the outer ring and pass it through your main bead. Or if you want to raise it up, you could put a seed bead before, but we're not going to do that. So we are going to pass it through the main bead first, then pass it through the smaller bead also. And after passing it through the smaller bead, you go round, that is, you go outside of it and turn back into the bigger bead. So that way you can go back into the same bead hole and come out through the next hole. Can you see that? Okay, so you move on to the next hole. In the next one again, you come out, then you take your 8mm bead, depends on the size of big bead you are using, then you pick the smaller one that will be on top and then pass it through. So you can make use of different sizes of beads, any size you choose, that's fine, just that the smaller size of bead should be on top. And then you pass it through and secure your bead in place. So we go in through the same hole and pass it out through the next hole. While doing this, make sure you don't have too much gap in between the holes. So you just do this until you've gone right round. As you can see in this case, we've gone right round. So we're going to pass our monofilament yarn again out through another hole, making sure that it is tight and compact. So you just keep going on and on. So now we're going to the second layer. You come out through an opening, then you take your bead and go in with your smaller bead, then go right round it into the bigger bead, then into the same mesh hole. You just have to be careful while doing this and make sure your bead is secured in place. So again, you just repeat the same process and go round. Then once you're sure you filled up all the spaces, as you can see in this case that all the spaces are now filled up, if you think it's too flat, you can feel free to put a seed bead, you know, to raise the center, or just use your seed beads to fill in the spaces and make sure that the whole mesh is totally filled. So while doing this, you just take a look at it. If you like it, if you can see your mesh coming through, if you can see it coming through, please take a small seed bead that is conspicuous and then use it to fill up the gaps, making sure that it is not obvious that it's plain metals that you have below. So sometimes you see the mesh underneath because of the size of your bead, but using your smaller bead you can cover the holes. So once you are sure that the beads have been secured, then we're sure that our mesh is ready. Now, as you can see, our cluster is ready. What you need to do is to tie a knot. Pair of scissors. Okay, now our cluster is ready. So what we are going to do is to take this the ring and take your fine chain nose pliers and use it to press your mesh onto the prongs you have on the ring. So we have 4 prongs. Can you see the prongs on the sides? So we have 4 prongs. So what we're going to do, using our fine chain nose pliers, we're just going to press it one by one and fix our cluster ring in place. Okay, so I'll use my chain nose pliers now. I'll just do it one by one. So I'm done with this one. Can you see? And can you see? This is really neat. We have held the mesh in place, and now our cocktail ring is ready. It is ready and all done to be worn anywhere. So we have these kits already made at Crafties, ready for you, so you don't have to start buying beads and looking for where to get your mesh. So we have these kits, they're available at Crafties. You can just get them and start crafting and make yourself a beautiful cluster ring. You're welcome. Bye for now.